What's up, everybody? Rob here from Playstyle Games, and it is time. It has finally arrived. Galaxy's Most Wanted, the next expansion from Marvel Champions, has arrived, and we are not having adventures. It is time for the Guardians of the Galaxy to make an appearance. As you can see on the box, we have two new heroes that have joined the game, Raccoon and Groot. So, this video I will be discussing Raccoon, and I'll have another video talking about the Groot cards. We'll be going through the cards. I have them right here, and I'll be popping them up on the stream for you guys as well while I go through them myself. So, first things first, we have Raccoon in his alter ego form. Genius, Outlaw, 3 recovery. He has 6 hand size and 9 hit points, so pretty average, one of the mill. He has an action to choose and discard a tech upgrade you control, draw 2 cards. So he can pretty much get rid of one of his tech cards to gain 2 extra cards. And Rocket Raccoon's main gimmick is lots of tech upgrades, lots of damage. Obviously, if you know Rocket Raccoon from the movies or the comics, he's a bit crazy and a bit violent. So, in his hero form, he's a guardian. 2 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense. It's a bit interesting because I didn't expect Rocket to have 2 thwart, but I guess he doesn't. He is a bit more of a schemer than a really strong as a raccoon. He's kind of small, so his weapons are what gives him the power. Response: after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw 1 card. Now there is no limit to this, so if he kills a bunch of things with excess damage, he can draw a bunch of cards. He's got 2 copies of I've Got a Plan. Hero response: after you make a basic thwart using your thwart, ready Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon gains +1 thwart while in hero form until the end of the phase. So you thwart for 2, I've Got a Plan, you ready Raccoon, and now his thwart is a 3. So essentially it's 1 for 3 thwart, or if you want him to do something else instead. So a pretty good card. Reload. We have 2 copies of Reload, and that is a 1 cost event. Ready each tech upgrade you control. So if you have a bunch of tech upgrades, they probably have to exhaust to use. This allows you to essentially reuse your tech upgrades again. Schadenfreude is a 2 cost event. And this card is until the end of the turn, heal 2 damage from Rocket Raccoon each time you deal any amount of damage to an enemy. So if there's a bunch of enemies and you have an AoE attack, you can heal. You only have to hit 4 enemies to heal up to max. So, good way to heal up. 2 copies of Salvage, which I want to kind of point out the Salvage card, just if you can see. It's the first double resource that we have. Has a mental and a wild. It's 2 different types. After you spend this card, put a tech upgrade from your discard pile on top of your deck. So that's a way to get your tech cards back. Speaking of tech cards, let's take a look. Battery pack. At this play with 2 charge counters, we get 2 of them. Exhaust battery pack, move a charge counter from this card to another tech upgrade. So essentially, it reloads or recharges your other weapons. Cybernetic skeleton, tech upgrade. You get 3 hit points, so puts him up to a 12. Pretty good then. While in hero form, he gets +1 attack. So that makes him a 2 and 2. So pretty solid stat line. Particle cannon. Tech weapon. restricted, enters play with 2 charge counters on it, exhaust particle cannon and remove 1 charge counter, deal 4 damage to an enemy. This attack gains overkill and range. So you can just blast 4 damage at something. If it kills a minion, it can overkill into something, and you draw cards. Rocket launcher, also a weapon tech, restricted, enters play with 2 charge counters, so 2 shots. And remove 1 charge counter, choose a player, deal 2 damage to the villain, and each minion engage with that player. So it's a powerful AoE, kind of like the energy daggers for Black Panther. Choose someone and do damage to that person and all those, or lightning strike, similar thing. We have 2 copies of Rocket's pistol, restricted, enter play with 3 counters on it, exhaust the pistol and remove 1 charge counter to deal 2 damage. So 1 for 6 technically, and you can just pop that little damage or set people up so you can overkill them to get the cards. And the last signature card in his pool is Thruster Boots. While in hero form, Rocket Raccoon gains +1 thwart and gains the aerial trait. So that makes him at a 3 thwart. If he has the Thruster Boots and the Cybernetic Skeleton, makes him a 3-2-1 stat line, which is pretty good. He can throw a lot. He can respectively do some damage himself as well. And if you play Thruster Boots, and then you play I've Got a Plan, so it'd be thwart for 3. I've Got a Plan, now his thwart is a 4, so he can potentially do 7 quite easily. He does come paired with aggression, so let's look at some of the aggression cards and see what we have for those. We have a new ally. His name is Bug. Just Bug. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal 1 damage from Bug. So technically Bug can never die. If you time him out and he attacks and then you attack, he heals. And as long as you time it correctly, he'll always be out. I think he'll be good for people like a Quicksilver aggression deck, She-Hulk, Thor, people who will be using their actual attack themselves. I'm not so sure in Rocket because his attack isn't that great, and I don't know if he has cards that boost it in his deck, but in the aggression deck, I guess you could. But you want the ones that really want to attack. We got some Chase Them Downs. Those are old cards. Into the Phrase, old cards. Here's a new card. 0 cost, Looking for Trouble. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play, engage with you. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. So this is essentially the same thing as Defender of the Nine Realms for Thor. The only difference is that in Thor's version he can do any scheme, and this one is only main scheme. Now, you could definitely combine this in the Thor deck to get that minion you want, so that you can force the card draw. More copies of Relentless Assault. 3 new copies of Follow Through. It's an upgrade. When your heroes attack does any amount of excess damage, increase that amount by 1. Now, obviously this is great for Rocket Raccoon, because excess damage. It's also interesting because it would play into the Fray, which removes extra threat. There's the other aggression card that heals for every excess damage. I think it's like Momentum or Press the Advantage or something. And then one thing to note is this is not restricted on 1 per player. So you could put all 3 out. Then any extra, if you do 1 point of excess damage it becomes 4 points of excess damage. Combine that with overkill, the damage is gonna fly. And then we have 3 copies of hand cannon. Restricted, it's another tech weapon, so we have an aggression tech weapon. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust hand cannon and remove 1 charge counter from it. Your hero gets +2 attack for that attack. That attack gains overkill. So again, this is great. Hand cannon would make his attack with the skeleton a 4 plus overkill. Then you have the other, what card was it? Bug to heal up. So this can also be really good for She-Hulk, Thor, Hulk. I can see quite a few people using the hand cannon in their deck. We have some neutral cards. Groot. Groot is a 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 consequential damage on his attack, 6 health. Can play only if your enemy has the Guardian trait, so he has to be played with Rocket Raccoon is in his hero form, and as of this moment, only Rocket Raccoon can play this card. We do know Star-Lord's coming, Gamora is coming, Drax is coming, and they just announced the Venom pack as well, not the Eddie Brock version. So we have 4 new Guardians coming besides these 2. So response: after Groot defends against an attack, heal 2 damage from him. So with 6 health, he can take quite a hit. You could just use him as a defender, really. Say you play Groot and you don't do anything with him. Let's just say a villain attacks, you block with Groot. Say it does 5 damage to Groot. He heals up 2, so he has 3 damage. And then he has 3 damage, but he absorbed the hit for you, basically. Next turn, maybe there's a minion that attacks, but like say he attacks from 1, so then he's at 4 damage, heals for 2. So he's your blocker. We also have the Flora and Fauna card, which is, I believe it's the exact cover art from the box. This is the team up card for Rocket and Groot. Hero action: place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10 and ready him, or place 2 charge counters on a Rocket Raccoon upgrade and ready that upgrade. So it can either charge up one of his weapons, or for Groot, which we'll see, give Groot some growth counters. Got some other neutrals. And then we have Booster Boots. Play only if your identity has the Guardian trait. Max 1 per player. Hero interrupt: when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, exhaust Booster Boots and discard the top card of your deck. Prevent 1 of that damage. It's okay. I think it's alright. Discarding the card is a bit much to prevent 1 damage, but I guess if you have low health, it might be useful. And then you can, in the worst case, if you discard a tech upgrade, you can just salvage it back to top of your deck. So, don't know about 3 copies of them. Personally, I wouldn't, but they're okay. Then let's look into his bad cards. The Obligation. Crisis on Half-World. Same stuff, flip to Alter Ego, choose to exhaust. Or discard the highest cost upgrade you control. If no upgrade was discarded, this card gains Surge. Discard the Obligation. So it discards one of your upgrades. So probably one of your weapons. The Scheme is Vendetta, which is two scheme per player, and it has a new icon on it, which you guys will see, which I believe means it increases every boost icon that is revealed. The nemesis minion is Blackjack O'Hare. He's pretty interesting. He's got 1 scheme, 1 attack, 3 health. He does have quick strike, but he has villainous, so he gains a boost card whenever he attacks. And then you have Blackjack's Bazooka. Attached to Blackjack if you cannot attach it to the villain. +2 attack. Spend 3 mental resources to discard this card. That's a lot if you don't have a mental heavy deck. And then he has 2 copies of Planetary Invasion. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Review that minion, then give it a tough status card. So, and tough obviously it will be an issue because while Raccoon and Raccoon has range to prevent the retaliate, he doesn't have anything that does piercing, so tough will slow him down. So overall, Raccoon and Raccoon's deck is interesting. I think aggression definitely works with him. I can definitely see the damage. I can probably even see a leadership. Don't know about justice, although he does have some thwarting cards, so he could do justice. I don't think he'll do protection. Doesn't seem like the kind of hero that would do protection. That's definitely more Groot's flavor, as he even comes with protection. But I think that he's got an interesting play style with all the different upgrades. I gotta see how it plays, how his damage runs out, how he plays against the different scenarios. Obviously, you think about scenarios like Ultron and Mutagen Formula. These have high minion counts where he'll be able to just blow through tons of minions, draw tons of cards, and just keep playing stuff. Because you gotta think, if you get the skeleton out and you get the thruster boots out, so it's a 3-2-1, he can handle most of the scheming, most of the thwarting for the team, and still have his weapons to blow through everything else. So seems pretty potent. Really good cards. The art is amazing, I feel like, as you guys may have seen on all the different cards. Some cool Raccoon pictures, definitely. I kind of like Schadenfreude. I think it's a really cool art style, and having this card that allows him to essentially heal up is definitely really good. Because he's not going to be defending. He does have the Groot, which is a neutral, but keep in mind if you are playing with Groot, you can't use him when Groot is in play. So you have to kind of rely on the actual Groot player to protect you. So this is a bit of a look at the cards. I think Raccoon is going to be a really solid character in terms of his playstyle. And if the worst case, if he doesn't have any minions to play, like maybe someone like Rhino, someone I think like Wrecking Crew doesn't have that many minions, you can just pump the damage straight into the main villain. You look at something like Rocket's Pistol, does 6 damage. You can do that all to the villain if you want. Particle Cannon, 3 for 8. And that's not counting if you have Battery Pack, or if you have the Flora and Fauna team up card. So you can make it 3 for 16 essentially. I guess it would technically be 4 for 16, but it's still a lot of damage. So overall, it is a solid hero. I'm excited to play Raccoon and Raccoon, and I can't wait to try him out in the new campaign that comes with this game, Galaxy's Most Wanted. I've been hearing great things about it. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of Raccoon and Raccoon, and stay tuned for another video where I'll be reviewing Groot and all the fun stuff that Groot can do in his deck. Thank you guys for watching.